Good morning, Flosstube. It is, oh goodness, I don't have my watch on, so what is the date today? That's a very good question. It is May 20th, Sunday. It is, about 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm a little bit behind today, but that's okay. It's a Sunday. Sorry I didn't get a video out yesterday. It kind of was a busy morning. Well, it was very much a busy morning. And then by the time the afternoon comes, I'm just not feeling it. I'm ready to settle down and stitch, basically. So I figured a day off was okay here and there. Our plans for yesterday kind of fell through. Well, for the whole weekend kind of fell through. That's okay. We still went out to dinner. Yesterday we went over to a little restaurant here in Odenton called The Hideaway. It's a kind of a mom and pop barbecue restaurant that has been here for years and years. Yesterday they have big screens in the restaurant, it's, one of those type, and yesterday was the Preakness here in Maryland, and we don't really pay attention to it, so we went over there and they were showing the Preakness and it was packed. I mean, it's a very popular place anyway, but it was just packed, and I guess it was for people to watch the Preakness. I don't know. There was a lot of yelling and cheering and stuff, but it was still a delicious meal, and I have leftovers, and that's always a good thing. Let's see. So, stitching. Yesterday was hoity-toity, and I only got a couple hours to work on this yesterday, so not as much progress as I would have liked. I got the dark, this is actually, the dark color is actually called Midnight Hour. It's by Victorian Motto Sampler Shop, and it has a very, instead of just being black, it has a very purple indigo. I think I've mentioned before, I'm not sure whether it's dyed purple with black dye over top or dyed black with indigo over top, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous color, and I think it's coming through okay on the camera. So I got the black filled in over here, and I got this black in here, this little line of turquoise going down there, and then I got this. That is actually Tropical Ocean, the turquoise color. It's one of my favorite Gentle Arts threads. So got that little guy started. This is going to continue over here a little bit. This is kind of going to be a tree filled in with more triangle things. And then there's actually a fox perched on this grass going over this way. So I was hoping to get more of that done yesterday, but that's okay. It will wait for me. As in love with this as I have been. Today's start is the Philip Morris farm, or Philip Foster farm, I'm sorry. This is the design that is part of the Farmhouse Sampler series that is exclusive to the store Country Sampler in Wisconsin. Beth Twist has mentioned this on her Flosstube videos several times, so that's where I came across this and signed up. The first one is by Beth, Heartstring Samplery. The Philip Foster farm is the farmhouse that was at the end, and still is actually, it exists today, at the end of the Oregon Trail. So it is a major landmark for Oregon. This is a lilac bush that is still there today. I think the write-up, there's a lot of nice write-up that Beth puts in her charts, and I don't have that particular page showing. I don't want to dig through, but I think Beth said that this chart that she brought, the wife of Philip Foster brought this with her from England. They sailed around South America, around the Cape of Good Hope, and up to get to Oregon. She brought this with her, the lilac tree, and I think it's something like 180 years old, something like that. So it's just this old growth, beautiful lilac bush that still blooms every year. So I have started that. Pretty piece. The center, of course, is here, and the roof. So not a very exciting thing to watch me stitch, but it is what it is. And this is the kit, it comes with all these gorgeous colors. This is going to be such a pretty piece. So, roof. And I'm going up and down, and let me pause here and see. I actually started it this last night because I thought I was going to be going for a stitching day this morning, so I wanted to just be able to jump in and get started on this morning. But the day was canceled, so that's okay. But I need to see where I am. So that's 5, 5, and then 2 4s, 2 3s, 2 2s, and 2 1s. Oh, that's very rhythmic. I like that. So let's see. What is happening around here? I cannot believe that we are almost... Can you see that? I feel like I'm off. Let me pull my chair up. I feel like I'm almost falling off my chair, and I'm not in front of the camera like I usually am. And there, I dropped my needle again. We're off to a good start. Okay. I can't believe we're almost at the end of May. May 20th. So for a lot of people, Maynia has ended. For me, I still have a good 10 or 11 projects to go, all of which I'm still looking forward to. Mike has a 3-day weekend coming up over Memorial Day, and we totally basically zoned out on that. I think we've been so focused on the whole job thing and Sasha being sick that we didn't really think about there being a long weekend coming up. And the reason we like to think of this, and really should have planned for this at the very beginning of the year, is we like to go out on RV trips on the long weekends. We like to go out on RV trips anytime we can, but of course the long weekend makes it so we can go a little further afield and of course just stay out longer. So Mike started looking. We decided if we could just find something, it didn't even have to be a place that had anything around really. If we could just find a place to hunker down for the weekend and relax and of course stitch and just be out in the RV, we would be perfectly happy. Unfortunately, at this point, he just started looking Thursday, I guess. And at this point, of course, all campgrounds are booked up. So we will be staying home Memorial Day weekend, and we are going to catch up on all the movies out there. We love going to the movies, and we haven't been in a while. So we are going to catch up on all the movies that are out there that we want to see and haven't. So yeah, exciting Memorial Day planned. We are hopefully, we'll have to see how this week goes on. This week is commencement for the Naval Academy here in Annapolis. And I put that up through the wrong hole. And most years, not every year, but most years, the Blue Angels fly at the Naval Academy commencement. Now, where we used to live in Maryland, we were just north of Annapolis over on what's called the Broadneck Peninsula. So it's one of the peninsulas jutting out into the Chesapeake Bay. And whenever commencement is coming up, it's always on a Wednesday. The Blue Angels come in and do practice flights on Tuesday, and then Wednesday is the ceremony. So we would, because we were so close to Annapolis, they would basically be doing their turns, to come back for another sweep over our house, over our neighborhood. So we always knew when the Blue Angels were there. And every once in a while, we would take the boys out of school and go down and watch them fly. It's a big deal. We would have to park quite a ways away and walk down the road that leads into Annapolis from our area. And there would just be huge crowds, they'd have the streets blocked off. And there'd just be huge crowds standing watching the Blue Angels fly, because it really is pretty spectacular. So anyways, that is happening this week. We are thinking on Tuesday of going. Mike would have to get off work early because it starts at 2. So we are thinking of going down and watching them fly again this year. It's been a while since we've seen them, and of course it will be a while since we've seen them. And Mike loves all things military. He loves all things military equipment. He's especially fond of tanks. If there's ever a tank anywhere around, he just kind of oohs and ahs over the tanks. He loves tanks. Men, go figure. But anyways, if we do that, I will be taking pictures and maybe try and get some video and share that with you, because they really are spectacular to see. So other than that, let's see. We have made some other RV plans for the summer. In mid-June, we are going up to New York City. 1 second here. There is a campground, basically just kind of an RV. It's not really a campground as you think of traditional trees and fire pits and all that. Oh, for heaven's sakes, I can't do this and hold it up here at the same time. Hold on a second. So there's a kind of RV park across, it's called Liberty Harbor. It's across the Hudson River. It's on the New Jersey side across the Hudson River, like directly across from Manhattan. So you can see so Liberty Harbor is here, the Hudson River flows here, Manhattan, the point of New York is like right here. So Manhattan's here, and then over here is Staten Island and the Statue of Liberty. So it's a really fantastic setting. It's where we always go and stay when we go up to the city. You can get then over to the city. There's a metro stop, a subway stop. Of course, at that point, it's the PATH train, or the PATH, whatever they call it, from New Jersey into New York. Probably about half a mile walk from the RV place. Or there's also the water taxi. We've taken the water taxi before from the marina over to Manhattan. And that's what we may do this time, depending on the weather. So looking forward to that. We always love going up to the city. You know, I am not a city girl. Lord knows I would not want to live there, but I love people watching. I love walking the streets. I love Central Park. We'll see a show. I hope to, and actually I have to get online and buy some tickets. I want to do the tour of the NBC studios. This time, we haven't ever done anything like that before, so I'd like to do that. We'll be up there, I think, for 3 days. Well, 2 nights, I guess, including travel days. So that's mid-June, and then mid-July, we are going to be going up to London, Ontario. We have a good friend who lives there, and we want to see them, her and her husband. Her husband, you know, she's somebody that one of the circle of friends from the digital scrapbooking world that first met online, and then, of course, had several meetings in person, and we've just become really, really close friends. And when our husbands first met, it's like they are brothers from a different mother. They are so similar. Another military buff, you know, they could tour tanks and submarines and ships all day long, and you know, I'm just like dying of boredom. So anyways, we are looking forward to getting up there. Janine has come and stayed with me several times, and both her and Dave have come and stayed with us several times when we were in Florida. So it's time for us to return the favor, and hopefully we'll probably make a trip over to the falls, Niagara Falls. And hopefully also up to Ontario. We have another dear friends that live up in, not Ontario, in Ottawa. So I hope we can get up and visit them too. Sorry, I just bumped you. So I hope we can get up and visit them too, where we can meet somewhere in the middle. I don't really know how far of a drive it is from London up to Ottawa. But hopefully that will work out. And of course, they all know that they have an open invitation to come and visit us in Hawaii as well. Janine, when we first posted on Facebook about moving to Hawaii, you know, we said something about, you know, basically a free place to stay, you know, easy vacation, even though I know the Canadian dollar still kind of sucks. And she's like, well, you're going to have to convince Dave. We're like, really? Sunshine, free place to live, to stay, basically free food, and the Arizona, the Missouri, the bowfish, I mean, all of the military stuff you could possibly want. It's not going to take much to convince Dave. And Dave posted, I'm on board. I'm like, all right, there you go. When are we going to see you? When we're up there, we will make plans. So we're looking forward to that. You can see I'm changing thread here. I'm going to start working. Where's my picture? Where'd my picture go? Come here, picture. I'm going to start doing the outline of the roof to help make the other stuff easier. So that is the trips through June, through July, beginning of August. We will be going down to Florida for Ben's graduation, and that will probably be just a pretty quick. It's actually on a Wednesday, so that will be a pretty quick trip down and back to Orlando. Because I would think at that point we're going to be pretty much in the throes of moving. Don't have any dates yet. I don't know when we will get dates. But that's all the further we're planning out, because we just really don't know what the future holds yet. Mike's mother sent us an email the other day and was like, yeah, I know you're probably going crazy with all the planning for this move. And we're like, nope, don't know what to plan, don't have any clue when we're going, no planning yet. Okay, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So how many twos is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So anyway, boy, that looks like that pulled a little tight, or maybe it's just a wrinkle in the fabric. So anyway, that is our summer in a nutshell. And we know, as always, it's going to just fly by, because here we are, like, heading towards the end of May already. Boy, those colors are really similar, aren't they? We are going to trust the designer with this one, though. This is what she used, so we're going to go with it. So let's see. We are doing a rewatch. We decided to do a marathon this weekend of, not a running marathon, of Lord of the Rings. It's probably been all of a year since we've watched it. This is probably our 5th time through, at least. So yeah, why does that look like it's further over than it should be? Oh no, it's okay. So yes, we are rewatching Lord of the Rings this weekend, which is always a favorite. I'm not feeling all that good today. My stomach, I had stopped eating dairy. I had eliminated dairy from my diet because I just have not been. I had an outbreak similar to what I get with gluten, and I hadn't had any gluten. So one of the next big culprits, for nasty stuff is dairy. So I haven't eaten dairy for probably at least 6 weeks to 2 months, and I've started bringing it back into my diet over the weekend, basically, probably starting Friday. Mike made a batch. I think I've mentioned before that he makes yogurt in the Instant Pot, and he made a batch of that. And it's full milk yogurt. It's, nothing low fat or anything like that. It's delicious. But I had some of that yesterday, and by the time after I ate dinner last night, so I had some of that yesterday afternoon. After I ate dinner last night, my gut was not happy, and I've had the other outbreaks, a worsening one of one that just refuses to go away. So I'm kind of feeling a little bit icky today. I'm really glad that we are having a down day, that I'm not going to meet up with my stitchy friends. So that worked out well, even though the circumstances that we had to cancel it for are very sad and unfortunate. But I wanted to go ahead, since I didn't get a video done yesterday, I wanted to go ahead and do one. And hey, I'm just going to be sitting and stitching anyway, so why not, you know, sit here and stitch with you guys for a little bit, right? Right. So, down day. Mike's going to try and get some writing done. One thing I was thinking about, though, is whether I should... So I have a blog. My blog name is Mad for Yarn. And I have a few posts up there that are knitting related. And so I've been contemplating on and off about whether I should at least put my show notes up there with more pictures of all of my projects. I take a ton of pictures. As you've seen that I do for any of our trips, I do the same for my cross-stitch projects. I figure film's cheap, and you're more likely to get one that really shows the work well when you take a bunch. So I do take a bunch. Let me count again. Hold on, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're on the 7th one. So anyways, if I keep bopping. I'm sorry. If I do a blog, that means there will be a lot more pictures for you to see. But I just don't know, do you guys go to blogs? Like, I know a lot of the Flosstubers, not a lot, but there's a handful of them that do put their show notes on their blogs. And like, I think it'd be useful for my color conversions, because of course I do a lot of color conversions. I would like to hear from you, to hear if it's something that you would find useful. I am more than willing to let anybody know my color conversions anytime they want, because there's certainly nothing secret about them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Count twice, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we go across. All right, so I am at 22 minutes. I think I'm going to stop there. I'll put one more stitch in to start where we're going. All right, come on, let go. There we go. All right, so that is the beginning of the Philip Foster farm. Isn't it beautiful? All right, I will get a lot more of that done today, because there is such a lot of blocks of color. I hope to get a lot of this done. And this is pretty. I don't know whether you see this. She did, and actually this is Tropical Ocean in here too, I believe, if I remember correctly. She did satin stitch on the window panes, because she wanted to look like the blue sky reflecting in the glass of the windows. Isn't that pretty? Anyway, so hopefully I will get a chunk of that done today. Tomorrow, we have another new start. Tomorrow is Louise and Henry from Little House Needleworks. Isn't that pretty? And I'm doing it on some mystery linen. The pattern, I believe, calls for 28 count. I think this might be a 30 count. I'll have to look it up and see. But that's what I'm doing that on. Oh, and one thing that was interesting, Diane Williams, in the Little House Needleworks group yesterday, the day before, started talking about punch needle and posting some punch needle patterns that she had done. And I wasn't aware that they did punch needle. So I will probably definitely, don't you love it when people say that? Probably definitely, at some point in the future, I hope to buy one of her patterns, one of her punch needle patterns, and work on that. But I will not do that until I finish the one that I have, and I will not work on that punch needle pattern until June sometimes, because Maynia. Anyways, guys, that is all for me today. I will see you tomorrow with more stitchy goodness. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.